Well, it's the next day. I've cleaned out the notches real good. I've sprayed primer on the sanded surface. I've sanded these all off. And I'm getting ready to show you how to make the blades wider. I didn't think that the 2x4 width was enough. So I've purchased from Home Depot a shower stall panel. See that it's made for walls. It's got that orange peel finish on it. It's not quite an 1/8 inch thick, but it's fiberglass. And I'm going to show you how to lay that out. That was $34. That's one of the more expensive parts of the Windmill so far, buying that panel. I did try to make it out of 1/8 inch plywood, scraps that I've had. I made 3 or 4 windmills like that, and they didn't, plywood, no matter how I tried to coat it, it just wouldn't work. So I had to buy something that was going to work, and it ended up being these fiberglass, that fiberglass panel. It was a 4x8 sheet, about 3/32 thick, not quite an 1/8, maybe, I don't know. It's debatable how thick it is. Anyway, I wanted to show you how to lay it out. First thing that I had to do, you have to do, is you have to find the center of this support on your 2x4, and that was that was a 2x4, but it was cut on an angle so that's a little more than 3 1/4, but it doesn't matter. I just made this mark at 1 7/8. I used the carpenter square to do that, and I marked one end on all the blades. You're going to do the same, and I marked this end. Then I used the drywall square for a straight line that's 4 foot long, and I drew that, and I put that in there. This is the next step, that you have to figure out how much of this plastic you want on here. What I did is, since I've got a dark line, I can look through it and see it, and I actually can see the black line through here. That's a good thing about making the black line. And then I marked where it came over here and set the 60-degree, 30-degree angle, triangle on there, like that, through the line, and then I set it up on my miter saw and cut off that 30-degree wedge, which was pretty simple to do. The next thing is I used that carpenter square to find the center line, and again I used the square from the drywall to draw a straight line down the center, and then I marked 1 inch from that line on 2 sides, and then every 2 inches I made a mark all the way down the center. And then with my carpenter square again, I made marks every 4 inches on the outside 2 lines, every 4 inches, and on the center line I made one at the beginning, and then one every 4 inches on the center line, and that put one in the center of each one of these all the way down. Now I figured this is my template, so I put it on another one, another plastic sheet, and I marked it. Actually, I didn't mark it. I clamped it together and drilled right through the same holes and made another one just like it. What that did is that made me an identical pattern, And I also used the countersink, and I countersunk all these holes, and then you can see right through pretty easy the center hole on that black line that you put in there. You can see it through all these. Then I marked the center of this where I drilled my hole for the center, and I measured, actually I used a tape measure, and I measured from the center mark, and I set this one on it at 4 1/8 inch. Every one of these that I'm going to put on here, all the way down through here, I'm going to have to measure so that I get them the same distance from the center, because all these cuts weren't exactly the same. They were close, but you remember when we started in the videos that I didn't trim all the 2x4s the same length, and these are going to be different lengths. So what you need to do is you need to go ahead and set it up so that you find your center that you can see through the hole, and measure and get your 4 inches before you start screwing these all together. And that's how you do that. With the countersink I've already put some of these brass screws in. I used brass, and I was using my drill screw gun, but it was too strong, and now I can't find it. It goes to where tools go to heaven. Anyway, you can see how you can countersink it. You can go ahead and put your screws all on this. Now when I was using 1/8 inch plywood, the scraps that I was using, I was gluing it. You can't, once you put that glue on there, you can't get it off the arm. And I'm going to try this time just screwing it all together. There should be enough screws in here. I would think that it's going to hold it. That's one of the reasons I primed the board first, so that there would be at least a coat of paint in there. And then when I finish this up and sand the other side and have them all ready and assembled, then I'm going to go for a balance, and I'll do that having a shaft, and I'll show you how to do that later. And then I will paint the whole thing with white paint, exterior white paint, and hopefully these blades will hold up. Actually, I know they already hold up because I've already made one, but it hasn't really thoroughly been tested. So there you can see what you have to do. You can make one and use it for a template on all 6 or all the other 5. Use it as a template. It's fairly easy to lay out. You may want to do it different. It doesn't matter to me. It's your project too. So go ahead and attach your wider pieces to your arms, and then I'll show you how to put it together. Actually, you probably pretty much got it already. The other thing that I'm not doing is that these did fit pretty good in my notches that I made. One was a little loose, but not bad. I'm not going to glue this together this time because I'd like to be able to take them apart and replace these arms one at a time, and I've glued a couple of them, and with the glue that I've been using, Gorilla Glue, it doesn't come apart. And the panels that I screwed on there before, the pieces of blades, it won't come off. So I want to try to make one that has universal parts that I can take in and out and see how that works. If it doesn't really work out well, I'll let you know on another video somewhere. So I think that's pretty much it on this part. I'll make another video after I get it up and ready to balance it, and I can show you how I balance it. I think that's it. You guys, hopefully you'll like this one better than some of the others that I've done, and I don't get too many dislike votes, but there's always people that are going to be able to do it better than me, so they're going to dislike what I've done anyway. Okay, that's it.